Have a holly jolly Christmas, it's the best time of the year. Now I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Oh, the mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas, and in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Mistletoe is hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you.
Happy day 12 of Vlogmas. It's about lunchtime around here. I've already gotten my groceries, gotten to the post office, and I just wanted to get on and show you some knitting ideas. I've had over the years, I think this is my 4th year of Advent, and people will say, oh, I'd love to have them, but I have no idea what to do with this Advent yarn because it's 24 minis, and unless I guess you have a specific project in mind, which there's so many projects out there between shawls and sweaters, but I chose last year to use my Chelsea Luxe Advent, and I used it up in a blanket. So today I just thought I would just broadly talk blankets. So the first thing I'll show you that I've done with blanket wise for a project, and if you follow me on Instagram or you've seen one of my older podcasts, you've already heard about this, but for those who haven't, I thought I'd share it again because it's a wonderful idea to use up scraps or, like I said, an Advent, and it's just, then you have it forever. It's the best project. So this pattern is by Molly from the Homespun House, and it's the Cozy Comfort Throw. Yeah, I mean, it'll be on the screen. Cozy Comfort Throw, I believe. And it's a garter stitch blanket. You use, basically what I did is, I mean, it's nice to have the pattern because then you know how many to cast on and whatnot, but I used about half my mini, and then each mini is used twice. So you cast on X amount of stitches, and then you use half of your mini skein, go on to your next color, and you continue doing that for the whole blanket. And side note, this is stranded with another skein of fingering weight yarn. And I just use natural, so it's a DK weight. So you could use, if you had DK scraps or just DK yarn for this kind of project, but you know, you don't have to hold it with natural yarn. You could hold it with a color. Either way, it's going to be beautiful. And then you have this big, beautiful throw. And you use up all your mini. So the yarn is not wasted. You've got a beautiful product at the end. I've made 2. This first one I made for myself, and then I went on to make a second one for my daughter, and I just used scrap yarn. But also, to finish the blanket, you put an I-cord edge all around it. And same thing, just the Advent that I used from Chelsea Luxe, I used her large skein and just, again, stranded it with undyed yarn and made this pretty edge. So this is a beautiful blanket, and it's so easy, it's so relaxing. It's kind of like, you know, everybody's loving the half wrap triangle shawl just because it's garter. It's so easy just to have around for when you just want to knit but not pay attention to what you're knitting on. That's what this project is. So definitely use up your scraps, or if you got an advent from somebody and don't know what to do with it, this is perfect. Another blanket that I made, and again, I've shown this before, it's another great idea for scraps and also your advent minis. It's the Cozy Memories blanket. And it's just a blanket with a whole bunch of mitered squares. There is a pattern on Ravelry, so if you want to figure out how to, you know, do this, it's Cozy Memories. Yeah, Cozy Memories blanket. I'll look it up, but it's a 20 by 20, and I used all fingering weight yarn, and all of this yarn was scraps and minis and just anything I had on hand. I even started some new balls just to kind of have like a good color contrast with all the blocks, but I'll stand up just to kind of show the size because it's really big. And it's beautiful. I love all the colors. So I have yet to do any kind of edging on it, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do like an I-cord edge on it. It's just, that kind of finishes it off nicely. So I think I was just so tired of this blanket that I put it down and I never went to finish an actual edging, but I'm going to soon. And also these blankets. My mom has been knitting up a ton of these big chunky yarn kind of blankets. Like, look how chunky that is. So this is just yarn from Michael's, and I believe this kind of blanket takes a good 6 balls. Yeah, I had originally been given a rusty, like toffee colored one from her, and Dan claimed it. So she made me another one. She did a pink, but this is such a beautiful blanket. It's massive. This is always on my bed. So I'll find out the details, what size needle she used and kind of what she did, but you can kind of see like she begins off with just a garter stitch, and then she goes into a stockinette. So yeah, I think so. Anyway, I'll double check and find out like size and all that. So this would be a great blanket idea just for gift knitting or just to have for yourself. My daughter started one, and I never ever thought I would see the day that she would have any interest in knitting. And she called me from Michael's the other night and said, I want to make one of those blankets. And anyway, she bought the yarn and just went home and YouTubed it, and she did it. So I'm so excited to see like what she finishes. So yeah, just a little bit of a blanket talk, and maybe that'll give you some ideas of some things to make. What else? Okay, it's giveaway time. So first of all, thank you for all the comments and questions that you put on Saturday's vlog. Yeah, it was Saturday's. And anyway, I haven't read through all of them, but Dan got reading them, and he was like, okay, there's a lot of really good questions here, and I don't know how to pick. So I said, okay, pick 2. We'll do 2 giveaways. So I'm going to read the questions, and I'll answer them. So when I read your question, you're going to be winning a skein of my Fiber Friend yarn and a needle gauge. And I have another one of these, so I'll give details here in a moment after I answer the questions on how to get your yarn to you. So let me bring up the questions that Dan picked. He picked them and screenshot and sent them to me. Okay, here's the first one. Okay, so this is from Yolanda. Yolanda says, wow, I just found you and have binged your Vlogmas today. I'm loving it. Thank you for sharing your home, family, and fiber life with us all. Seriously, it's been a blast while I work on a project. So my question, this is my first time viewing you. How long have you and Dan been married now? And how did you meet? I love hearing people's stories. Okay, that's 2 questions. Haha, thanks. Okay, I love hearing people's stories as well. So Dan and I are not married. We have been together for 6 years now. And some background on that is I was married and I lost my husband in 2011. And so, yeah, I was just kind of quiet for a while, and it was a sudden death. So about 5 years later, one of my friends said, would you ever be interested in going on a date? And I said, sure, why not? Like, I was hanging out I have wonderful friends. Like, my friends kept me in the loop of things, and my kids, they were 8 and 10 when I lost Mitch, so, I was busy with them. They always played sports, and I was never by myself, but the thought of going on a date was kind of like, oh, okay, maybe, which actually didn't sound appealing because I hadn't been on a first date in like 16 years. So anyway, needless to say, dear friends of mine said, we'd really like you to meet this guy. So they're friends with Dan's aunt and uncle. And those 2 couples decided that we should meet and that we'd really hit it off. And I was like, okay, yeah, so I trust your opinion. And I knew who his family were, so I felt good about that. And then she says he's 7 years younger than you. And then it was like a hard no. No, I'm good. Like, I'm a widow with 2 kids. He's 7 years younger than me. No way. And she worked on me for 2 days, like stopping in. They were like group calling me, saying, no, please just give him a chance. If anything, you get out of the house for an evening and you met a nice person. So I finally said yes, and I went on a blind date. We met at a pub that's like kind of around in this neighborhood. It's called Mama's Pub. Blind date. He calls and it's all set up, and we're like, okay, well, what are you driving? So we kind of knew who was driving what vehicle, and that was going to be our gauge to know who each other was in the parking lot. So we met and we were just going to go for a beer. Well, 1 beer turned into 2, and then we ordered nachos, and it was like 3 hours later. I had such a good time, and the whole age thing that really kind of put me off was so put at ease because Dan is, he's the best. Then he's sitting there talking about his vegetable garden, and I don't know, he's very family oriented. He's very close with his family, and that was another thing that was so nice to hear. And anyway, so yeah, all this time later, we're still together and things are wonderful. He's my very best friend in the world, so never say never, because I really was going to just kind of just be a mom. And I had a traumatic loss and all of that, but yeah, I guess the moral of the story is never say never. Just trust your friends with any advice they can give you. So okay, so Yolanda, that's your question. And okay, so the second one. This is from Carolyn Quilici. Hope I'm saying your last name right. She says, I loved following your last vacation to Southern California. Where are you planning to go next and why? So we actually just booked a trip to Ireland. Dan and I are going to go to Ireland next April with our best friends Jane and Brian. And why is because I turned 50. I turned 50 in April. So Dan said, we have to go on a trip. We have to do something special. And we both kind of said, well, let's do Ireland. We've never been, and it's definitely a place that I'd love to go to. So it's done. It's booked. We're going to Ireland in April for my 50th birthday with our dear friends. So I am so excited. And yeah, So thanks, ladies, for the questions. Please, if it's okay, if you can go on my Sweet Skein of Mine account and direct message me your mailing details, and I will send that out to you right away. So that was fun. And for everybody else's questions, I haven't had time to read through them all. I just kind of like left it and said to Dan, like, I want to go into this blindly because some friends were messaging too. So it was good to do it that way. Let Dan pick, which is funny. He picked some funny questions. Not funny, good questions. And yeah, so direct message me on Instagram. And if for some reason you're not on it, I think Carolyn, you are. I don't know about Yolanda. If you're not on Instagram, message me in the comments below here, and we'll get it sorted out. So that's it. So questions, some blanket talk. Lastly, I just wanted to share a product because I love watching Vlogmas or any kind of podcast where people talk about a product because I'm a product junkie, and it's just nice to pass along, must try things. So I just grabbed a couple of things, and I think I would maybe like to pop this in every day for Vlogmas, actually. So I'm going to just talk about this really quickly. My daughter got me this for Christmas last year. It's the Laneige Sleeping Care Lip Sleep Mask. I love this. I love it so much. I think a lot of people have it or heard about it, but if you haven't, you need this. At nighttime, put it on your lips before bed. It's lovely. And then for Christmas, when my girlfriend Jane and I did our gift swap the other night, she had gifted me this. So this is the Laneige Lip Glowy Balm, and it's in the berry. I love it. I have it on right now. It's got a really, really light tint, but it's so moisturizing, but not sticky, and anyway, all that fun stuff. So there's a product, 2 products that if you're looking for a new lip balm or gloss, yeah, you should try them. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I'm just getting ready to start supper, and it's a really simple recipe, and it's usually enjoyed by everyone, so I thought I'd share it with you. You're going to need pretzels, some eggs, a little bit of garlic, and some chicken. And I've just taken some chicken breasts and cut them in half, and I will show you the process.